Our man's back. It's time to get the business.
Guess
He is
who's
back
back?
in.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep, Trump is back. He's already making moves. I think he's done more the day he took office this time than Biden did the entire fucking time. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was watching him. I mean, he was sitting down at the desk yesterday just signing shit, just signing. And I mean, while he's being interviewed, you know?
Yep.
Like the fucking reporters are asking him questions. He's signing shit like it ain't nothing.
I love it. He said, like hell, we're going to wait.
Yeah. That was crazy. I'm thinking, dude, like, I figured he'd go home, celebrate, you know. I mean, I guess he's been here before, but still, you know, it's like, damn.
I feel like it's kind of like, I mean, obviously to a higher level, and like it's hard to compare anything to being the president of the United States, but it's like when you do anything the second time, like you've been there, done that. It's like, all right, now I know what I can and can't do. I know the extent that I can do shit, and I know how quickly or you know how slowly shit can take. So, you know, he can take more initiative this time around and be like, no, we're doing this. This is what's going to happen.
Well, he definitely just from hell the last 4 years that he wasn't president, he learned a lot on top of what he learned when he was. So yeah, going into this one, I'm with you. I think it's just all business now. Like he's been there before, he's done it. He knows the rules. He knows what he's facing. You know, he knows not to trust everybody that you know comes around, because that was his problem the first time, was he just had a lot of trust in what people were advising him to do, and people that were, you know, being advised to him on who to pick for certain, you know, spots in his cabinet and whatever, you know, and I think that kind of screwed him a lot, which I think he should have learned that lesson. So he knows now, but he's getting shit done, and you can tell because they're already starting to cry. You know, I see everything he does. It's like he could cure cancer, and they're gonna bitch that, you know, he doesn't like people that have diabetes. You know what I mean? That would be their response to it. It's ridiculous, man. I'm already seeing it. They're bitching about him closing the border. You know, I mean, trying to pull up. Let's see. Well, first I want to show you, man. Watch how he's just a man of the people, dude. Watch this. Let me show you how you. Like, I don't know how anybody dislikes this dude. I'm not saying you got to be his best friend, but watch Trump. Watch old Trump dog, man. He's his own fucking hype man. Starts throwing pin. Look, gets up. That ain't nothing. Watch these motherfuckers. I mean, it's like he's at a rock concert, dude.
You get a pin. You get a pin. You get a pin.
Watch him start going crazy here. Like, I mean, the dude is just, I don't know, man. I don't know how people hate him.
He's a showman, man.
Well, he is. He is.
He does his thing.
But he, you know, he knows this is the people that support me.
Yep.
You know, I'm not going to sit there and act like some stiff ass like the rest of these politicians that, you know, can't just show and act like a human every now and then, you know, and just have a little fun. I mean, you don't get that out of most of them. And it's good to see.
No, and it's like that's what people want. You know, I don't know how they don't understand that yet. You know, it's like we want to be able to relate with the people that are leading us.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of tired of all this uptight politician shit with all this perfect speech, and, you know, everything is you know, rehearsed, and, you know, they don't want to take, you know, interviews where they may say something that's not practiced. I mean, it's all bullshit. And from him being how he is, he actually showed people that there is another option. You know what I mean? You can be yourself. You don't have to be a fucking politician 24 hours a day.
Right.
You know? Now, granted, I don't know how many of them are going to take that and run with it, but it is possible, you know.
We'll see, D-Call. We will see, man. He's a showman that's going to fuck poor people in the ass for 4 years, you fucking mooks. End quote.
All right. So the fans are out tonight.
They are. You saw the I don't know how massive, but the headlines, the mass self-deportations.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see what was going on. Why? What they?
According to the headlines, they were like filming
Already?
people going back across the border by themselves.
Well, I do know that they said that they were already starting. You know what I mean? Like to I don't know if you want to say round them up. And look, man, you know, that's part of the bitching I'm hearing from the left is, of course, the border issue. You know, and I don't know how many times Trump or anybody has to say that there's no issue with people coming to this country, that aren't born here. That's not a big deal. I mean, everybody had to get here at some point. Everybody's ancestors had to get here, but there's ways to do the shit. And I don't understand what the big argument is against that.
Right.
I just don't get it. It's like they just want to argue, just because their side isn't saying it. Because these same people, if Biden or whoever they were voting for would have came out and done what Trump is doing, they'd have been all for it. And it just shows you how ignorant it is of the whole system. It's just whatever my team says, I'm going to go for it. And it's just so dumb. I mean, they can't give you a realistic reason on why it's a problem to want to have secure borders. I
don't get it. Cause it's like, there's a right and wrong way to do everything. It's like, I'm not against immigration, but do it the right way. The same way, like, I'm not against you getting money, but I'd be against you robbing a bank. You know what I mean? Like, there's a right and wrong way to get it. D-Call, I don't know what JFC means, man. You have to spell that out for me. So. But yeah, so there's a right and wrong way to do everything, and that's the big argument, and that's the part that they don't see. All they hear is us, the illegal immigrants need to go is what we're saying, but they hear the immigrants need to go, we need to clear all Mexicans out this country. But it's like, no, it's not at all what the point is. The point is do it legally and we're all good.
Yeah, and it gets tough because you got one administration that allows you to just come on over. So you come over, you get settled, and then all of a sudden the next administration is threatening to round you up and send you back. So it is, you know what I mean? It's a fucked up situation for somebody to be in, but it should have never been allowed in the first place. They shouldn't have just been allowed to pour over the border and settle in over here. They do it the right way, then you have no concerns when the next administration gets in. And we've said it before on here. We totally understand why people are fleeing over the border to get to America. You know what I mean? I know I would, you know what I'm saying? Right. But there's just a right way to do it because you don't know who these people are all the time. And that's all Trump and a lot of Republicans always, their gripe is that we just like to vet these people a little bit better. You know what I mean? It just can't be a fucking free for all. I mean, you don't do that in the house. Why are you going to do it at the border?
I will say that, doing it the right way is definitely the way to go as far as on their end. But I'll also say that on our end, we have to work on making the process doable, because I know a bunch of guys that have gone through the process and it's not anything close to easy, No, there's just not enough people. Like with anything with the government, it's just like the fucking DMV. You can't get shit done.
Yeah, it's understaffed. Or it's just incompetent people. You know what I mean? But they're also, that's a huge undertaking, like you just said, to get everybody that wants to be a legal citizen in this country, to get them vetted and whatever it takes for them to get their citizenship. It's a long fucking process, and some of it is from just the way that it's handled, but there is also, isn't there a certain amount of time you got to wait anyway? Like, even if you could get in front of somebody, you can't just get the shit done in 5 months. There's a process that they have to go through, and anybody I know that's either been through it or knows somebody that has is saying what you're saying, that it's just too it's too hard of a process. You know what I mean? It should be simplified. It's like, hey, who are you? Where the fuck you coming from? What are you coming here for? You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, great. Everything sounds good. Now there's a few things we need you to learn. Here you go. Boom. Come back. Let us know you got all this shit down. Here's your citizenship.
And it's like, just like we can put, our own citizens on probation and parole and watch their every move, you can do the same exact thing for people coming across the border. It's like, look, this is how it's going to go. You're going to come over here, give me all your paperwork, We're going to background check some things. If all's good, we'll put you on a 2-year probationary period. We're going to watch you. We're going to make sure you're doing good, make sure you got a job, yada, yada. And if all goes well, you're good. Yeah. Make sure that's it. We're just going to make sure that you're not coming over to, you're not working with the cartel already and they just need somebody over here to run the stash house. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to make sure you're doing good. You're going to be productive in society and everybody's happy.
It sounds simple, and I'm sure there's more to it than that, but it just seems like it could be a little better situation than what it is right now. But like I said, no matter what he does or what he proposes, one side's going to freak out about it, and so nobody's ever going to be happy. But I seen he was also he was basically telling these fucking government workers to get your ass back to work. None of this remote working bullshit no more. And I'm sure they're fucking hating that. It's like I didn't even know they were still working remotely. I guess
I didn't either.
Pandemic, and I'm thinking, damn man, get your ass back to work. Everybody else got to do it. But I seen he's ending that. I'm sure they're bitching about that. What else is he doing? I think he signed something to the Department of Justice. They're going to seek the death penalty as the appropriate punishment for heinous crimes against humanity, which, including those who kill law enforcement officers and illegal migrants who maim and murder Americans. I mean, hopefully that'll deter, some of that shit from happening. I don't see a problem with that. What else is he doing? Armed forces, including the National Guard, will engage in border security, national security, and will be deployed to the border to assist existing law enforcement. That is probably a huge help, because in border patrol, there's only so many of them, and it's just a big undertaking.
Right.
They always need help. The problem is before they would send people down there, but they weren't allowed to do anything. Me and you know one that he was down there, and basically he was just there to be a glorified lifeguard.
Just to look,
patrol the waters, and if somebody's in trouble, help them, but you can't stop them from coming over, is what he was told, by his superiors, and it's like, well, what good does that do to send them down there, But that was the Biden administration. That's what they did. They put on a big show, like, look, we got the Coast Guard and this and that down there, but they're not able to do shit. So half the time they're just sitting around doing nothing, just doing fucking circles, in the fucking Rio Grande, just chilling, just because they, like I said, they can't touch these people. They're just there to save them if they happen to get in trouble while they're crossing. You know, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is nuts, man.
He was fucked. I remember he was telling me they got sections over there that the government, our government, tells them do not go into these areas because these are cartel areas and we don't go in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How crazy is that for your government you're patrolling shit and they're like, oh, don't go past that little line. That's the cartel's area,
Yeah, it's like
what the fuck?
Are they paying you? Like, how much money are you making off the cartel?
Yep, somebody is. That's just crazy. But
Jerry Hart says, are we sending troops into Mexico because the cartel is terrorists now? And I hope not, because that's kind of like a Mexico problem. I feel like if we secure the border enough,
it says President Trump will begin the process of designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations and use the Alien Enemies Act to remove them. Right. I know that was a big thing of his, because it's not just that they're over there fucking up, Mexico or whatever. It's that they bring that bullshit over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his argument against it, that if we just destroy these fuckers before they get over here, problem solved.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to be that easy? I don't know. You're in their territory. You don't underestimate the fucking cartel and the type of, the weapons and just how militarized they are. You know what I mean?
And the problem too with the cartels is they're just intermingled with the regular citizens over there. You know what I mean? It's not like they're it'd be the same thing as, the 20-year war on oil in Afghanistan, where they're just all intermingled with each other. There is no clear line of like, this is the military base of the, Al Qaeda, and this is the military base of the Sinaloa cartel. Like, they're just mixed in. So how do you take care of it? You got to hand-to-hand combat these motherfuckers every time you find one, because there is no bombing sections.
I'm sure somebody knows. Like, I'm sure there's some intel that they get. Like, somebody knows where these lines are drawn with these cartels and where they're shacked up at, and where they're doing their operations. Like, somebody knows. So all it takes is you to have some sort of informant, and that's something I'm sure they work on that probably year round. Trying to stay on top of that, but they don't do shit about it until now. At least he's talking about trying to do something about it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard to wipe them out. Like I said, I mean, you are fighting in their territory. It's not like you're just going to go in there, like you said, and just, be able to find all of them and just annihilate them. I mean, they're mixed amongst regular folk, and it's not like they're wearing a T-shirt that says cartel, so, but like you said, I'm sure there's some organization to those organizations that the government will know. They're not just going to go in there blindly, I wouldn't think, and just start destroying shit.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
mean, it's not like we've never done that before.
I would hope not, because
I don't know. Let's see what else.
That would be my only worry is you start hurting, Mexican citizens, and then now you start having political beef with Mexico, because it's like, look, but I'm sure we'd be working with them if we happen to go in. It wouldn't be like a super secret. Mexico doesn't know about this operation.
No.
So
no, and you know what that leads to? It always leads to these cowards. They purposely hide amongst citizens. You know what I mean? Because they know that for the most part, we have rules of engagement that a lot of places don't. I mean, I'm not saying we're innocent as a country, like we've never, fucked up civilians. I mean, we probably do it more than we even know about. I know Obama did a lot of them drone strikes that were fucking up, places and people that shouldn't have been getting fucked up. So it happens, but. I think they try to keep it to a minimum. If not, they would just go in places and annihilate the whole fucking place and not care. But, they try to, it looks like they try to be a little strategic about what they're doing. Yeah. So what these terrorists and these dope dealers or whatever, these cartels, they know that shit. So therefore they all shack up with innocent people thinking, well, we're safe here because they're not going to blow this fucking house up, Yep. So, and for the most part, we don't, but like I said, at least they don't tell us, but I'm sure it happens a lot more than we've heard of as citizens, but yeah. Let's see what else. I know he's going to, I like this one, dude. And he says, President Trump's energy actions empower consumer choice in vehicles, shower heads, toilets, washing machines, light bulbs, and dishwashers. Which, it's a shame they even put restrictions on all that shit. It's all some bullshit based out of California. You know what I mean? And it when I read that, it struck home, because every time I buy a new shower head, the fucking water just trickles. You know what I mean? So I got to go inside this motherfucker and gut it and get that son of a bitch to shoot, and actually rinse you off. And it's all, like I said, everything is based on this bullshit conservation crap that they got going on in California. So we all have to live by their rules. You know what I mean? Can't have too much water pressure because you're wasting water. Like, fuck you. We got plenty of water around here.
We do have plenty of water.
So I always gutted my shit, and that's how I know the toilets were a thing where you can only have so many gallons per, whatever flush or whatever. And it was just all California bullshit for the most part, and these manufacturers go along with it and make everybody buy that shit. Vehicles too. You know how they do with the vehicles. That's why
dude.
All the diesel trucks are
all
fucked
the diesels.
Up nowadays. Yeah, they're trash, man.
I mean, even a lot of like the V8s and shit all have that displacement on demand, and the fucking the active fuel management and shit, where it shuts down to 4 cylinders on the interstate.
And there's ways. I'm sure there's ways to get around all that if you know what you're doing. Now, the problem is I know, like in Cali and other places, they check that shit when you go in for vehicle inspection. They actually inspect your shit, from what I understand.
If I brought my car to Cali, they would crush that bitch in a day.
You get stopped at the border. You'd be going through Nevada and they'd be like, oh, no, you're not coming here. But from what I understand from people that have been over there or do live over there still, I mean, they check everything, which here you kind of pull into a fucking shack and they like, oh, turn your lights on, blinker, horn. All right. And you're on your fucking way, so we can get around, we can bypass a lot of the bullshit if you got somebody that knows how to do all that shit on the cars,
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Over there. No, I'm surprised I haven't gotten fucked with as far as that. Like, my car I've had for 7 years and I've never had an inspection sticker on it. I just refuse to do it.
Yeah, fuck them. I ain't had one in 2 years, man. I'm with you.
Like, fuck y'all, man. Like
my shit, you buy the shit brand new and then they want you to, you got to pay every couple of years to get a fucking inspection sticker. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't have one either. But what else Trump is doing, man? He's done a lot. There's a big ass list here. Some of it's boring. Some of it's cool. He's unleash American energy by ending Biden's policy on climate extremism. In other words, should get back to some sort of drilling, and supposed to be getting rid of them windmill farms, just ugly as fuck. You're just riding by all this beautiful landscape and it's just full of these fucking windmills, and it's like,
or the windmills in the bodies of water and shit. Wasn't there something with like they were hurting the whales or something like that?
I don't know about that, but I know they complain a lot about the birds, the ones on land.
It was the birds.
Yeah, there's a lot. And there may be something to do with ones in the water. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I do know that they kill tons of birds every year. You know, these birds are just flying by. I'm not getting fucking slaughtered by these windmills. You know, so. Yeah, but the liberals, they don't want to talk about that though. But no, it's going to be nice to see a lot of this wokeism going away. You know what I mean? Yes. It's already starting. Matter of fact, I know last night ESPN pulled up some of Trump while he was talking. They don't ever do that. Never would they have touched Trump. You know what I mean? And they actually pulled up a little piece while he was talking. I think it was while he was live or whatever. They kind of pulled it up during whatever the game or whatever was on. But I mean, just that right there. I mean, ESPN is part of Disney, which is, you know, super fucking woke. But just starting to see that tide change where people aren't so afraid now to touch Trump. You know,
absolutely.
I mean? And I don't know if they're just realizing that the citizens don't give a fuck, so it's okay, or if they're starting to see these corporations that maybe he's not as bad as you know we portrayed him to be as far as for the economy and for them. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I think the stigma of, you know, oh my God, you know, Trump, I think that's kind of going away with a lot of people.
I think you follow it back to the money, and cancel culture has died down a lot. You know, back in 2016, 17, 18, if you said Trump, you were getting canceled.
Yes,
like, you were losing sponsors and shit, you know, because people were just loud and crazy about it. Now, not really so much, you know. I mean, people have come out and said, you know, I voted for Trump, da da da. And there's a little bit of an uproar, like as far as Snoop Dogg and Nelly, you know, there's an uproar. But who the fuck listens to Snoop Dogg and Nelly in 2025? But you know, so, but there's not as much cancel culture on these companies. You know, there's not as much push for them to like, hey, you got to cancel all contracts with this person because he said this. So people are like, okay, well, if that's not there, then I can say what I want, you know?
And honestly, you're right. That would have happened just a year ago, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, because even Snoop, it's not that people are listening to Snoop, but Snoop is still huge around the world. I mean, he's big because he's a big product endorser. I mean, Snoop's got a name still. So he had a lot to lose, you know what I mean? If it were still that type of environment, I don't think he'd have been brave enough to come out. But he knew now it's a safe topic, you know what I mean? Because he did stand, because a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever, I mean, all them damn people that endorse him would have probably dropped him for saying something dumb as I support Trump, you know? It's crazy. Now, Nelly, I don't know what the fuck Nelly does nowadays. So I don't know what, I've seen a couple people online bitching about him, but I'm thinking, I don't know what the fuck Nelly's doing, why anybody would care. But I do think Snoop had a lot to lose if the environment was different. You know what I mean? Now, I don't take it as, you know, him being brave because he came out to support Trump. I just think he knows that this is, you know, there's nothing wrong with it anymore. You're not taking a risk. You're not taking a risk by saying I support Trump now. I mean, it's crazy how that tide has just shifted totally.
Yeah.
I had you know, the cancel culture thing like you were talking about. I had somebody, I dropped a short last night kind of defending Elon. I don't know if you saw that bullshit where he supposedly gave the Nazi salute, you know. Well, of course, I did a little short and you know, telling her how stupid it was because the media left out the part where he was basically saying, my heart goes out to you. And it was his autistic way of doing whatever Elon does. I mean, the man is on the spectrum and, you know, that he was kind of throwing his heart out.
It was very awkward.
It was very awkward, and it looks crazy in a 3-second clip. You know what I mean? But Elon is awkward. You see how he's coming out on stage and other places. He's jumping and shit and acting like a Riri. I mean, it's what Elon does. So I put out a short about that, and, you know, was basically at the end of it saying, do you really think he's going to get on stage and do a fucking Nazi salute? Are you that fucking stupid? You know what I mean? So, of course, first comment I get is, you need to lose your job. You know, so I guess somebody's trying to cancel me now because I was taking up for Elon, or you know, I guess he thinks I'm pro-Nazi now. You know? So some jackass on there, you know, you need to lose your job. And I'm thinking, yeah, why don't you tell my boss that? You know?
Yeah, let him know.
Have fun. But anyway, so, but that has no power anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because back in a couple years ago, that might have meant something because there'd have been fucking 100 other people on there doing that, saying that. But it was just one lone asshole, that decided that I need to lose my job because I had a fucking opinion, But they got used to being able to scare people like that over the past few years,
Right.
And it's like the shit don't work no more, dude. Nobody gives a fuck, Nobody cares. Nobody cares. If I had a job to lose, I wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, all I did was say it was not a fucking Nazi salute. I mean, but because Elon is pro-Trump, well, therefore you're not supposed to say anything like that. You
Right.
gotta go along with whatever the fucking media says. But I thought that was very, I don't know, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise because it is the media. But I'm thinking everybody who was watching that, all you had to do was watch a few seconds later and you see what he was meaning when he did that, but they just couldn't help it. And I'm thinking the media people that are saying that, they fucking know that's not what he was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? They know it, but they just can't help them fucking
They
self.
can't. They got to paint that bad picture,
They just cannot fucking help themselves. And then, of course, the idiots on X and every other platform run with it. And I'm like, y'all are just fucking dumb. I mean, if all the things to do, like really, even if Elon had those kind of feelings, do you think he's going to get on a fucking national stage and do a fucking Hitler salute? I mean, he's not fucking retarded. He's just on the spectrum a little bit when it comes. I think he's got Asperger's or something, but
yeah.
I mean, the man isn't stupid, but anyway, I thought it was crazy, but I'm thinking, here we go. It's already starting. Trump's been in office for one day, and it's like, it's going to be a fun fucking 4 years. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be a long 4 years. I can't wait to see what it brings,
It's going to be a fun 4 years, dude. I enjoy this shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking amazing. I love the crying about it, because the world's going to fucking end with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time he was in office, that's it. It's over. It's done. World's ending. Okay, nothing happened. Biden was president 4 years. Now Trump's running again. Oh, that's it. End of democracy. World's fucking ending. It's like, come on, people. Like, we're not over this dumb shit yet.
Yep.
I mean, even when Biden was in office, I wasn't running around thinking the world was ending. It was just, hey, he's doing a shitty fucking job. We've said it, multiple times on here. We just don't like how he's running the country. But it never just, oh my God, this panic of, we're all going to die. It was like, oh, Jesus. And I see they're starting the LGBTQ community is freaking out again because Trump's in office, like he's going to round them up, like he didn't do the first time for some reason.
Right.
How he felt. I mean, it's just so stupid, but I guess it's people that some people are weak-minded. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's people that really believe that shit. Like they live in fear because of who is president. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know what takes you to that place, especially when you see the track record of the man, when he was president. I mean, you're still here. You're still here crying on fucking TikTok about it. I mean,
yeah, because that's all I saw for like a solid 4 hours was when he was talking, when he said that the government will acknowledge male and female, and
oh yeah, that was it. Boom,
like I said, a solid like 4 or 5 hours of just.
I forgot he did that. Yeah, I think he was signing that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and it is what it is, dude. People ain't gonna agree on it, but it is. I mean, it's the fucking science. You know what I'm saying? So that, whatever, you can get all pissed off about that. I think he really did sign that shit, or he's turning that into the Gulf of America or whatever. He's taking away the Gulf of Mexico. And I'm like, I'm thinking, hey, go at it. But, and there's more to it than just because he's being petty and wants to name it that, you know what I mean? It gives you rights to certain things that we should have rights to. Out in the Gulf and all. So it's not just about let's just rename it, but now it's like, hey, now this shit's ours. You know what I mean? So I think that was more why he was doing that,
Yeah.
From what I understand. But I don't understand much, but it's just kind of what I was getting out of the story. But I seen, I know we speaking of TikTok, did you, you did all right with the TikTok ban? What was it, about 14 hours or some shit?
Yeah, dude, it was a rough 14 hours. I couldn't sleep, sweating, cold sweats. My legs were hurting. I
know, it was crazy. I don't even know why I don't know why they even banned it. I mean, I thought I thought Biden was signing something that was giving them time until Trump came in, and then Trump was, of course, going to go ahead and extend it. Maybe I heard that wrong.
Well, I think he was just like basically giving his word that they wouldn't pursue the fines.
Okay.
I think there were fines for whatever,
I got you.
like any networks or the app stores that kept it online, and any internet providers that kept TikTok online, they would get fines. But Biden was like, we won't enforce it. So TikTok was like, well, that's not really solid.
See,
so
I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I was reading the comments. We were talking about the Gulf of America, and Earl kind of hit it on the head. What I was getting at is that he's going around renaming for the drilling. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just about I'm gonna be petty and just rename it, which I thought was cool anyway. But but I was like, there was a lot more to it. Trump's not stupid. Trump plays fucking chess. While the rest of the world's over there playing checkers. Trump, people that if you don't like him, it doesn't matter. The man is slick. He's a slick businessman. You got to give that to him. But anyway, so the TikTok thing. Now, you were saying he just wasn't going to pursue any kind of legal action. So why did he take it down?
Because basically they were saying that they didn't believe him, I guess, or that like the app stores didn't have enough security in his word of not pursuing any fines. So they took it down, and then they brought it right back up. So.
Lil Terabyte, what is up? Thanks for joining again, brother. What's going on, everybody? Speaking of that, if y'all watching this, we are on TikTok. That's why we brought it up. Look us up, B.S.ing with the guys, growing crazy on there. But so I didn't miss it. I was thinking, good, this will give me a break because all I'm doing is sitting around trying to, figure out content and shit like that. And I kind of get fucking just tunnel vision with all that shit. So I was like, all right, well, I need to fucking break. You know what I mean? It's like day and night. All I'm doing is thinking, all right, content for this and content for that. And, fucking, it's like, all right, well, this will be one less thing on my fucking mind right now. But didn't last long. Woke up next day fucking around, and I think the wife was like, oh, TikTok's back up. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? Trump and boom, Then they took CapCut.
It took CapCut. They took I think the other little app that was going to replace TikTok. They took that down.
Well, that would bother me the most because I do a lot of my editing on my phone with CapCut. It's an amazing fucking app, CapCut will take a check for that. But it's an amazing app. I use it all the time when I'm fucking around on my phone, and that bothered me the most that I couldn't get in it. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Actually, I found a way to get in it, but you had to be offline. So, but you couldn't, like if you took your phone on airplane mode, you could still get in it, mess around, do what you had to do with a video, but you couldn't export it. And there was a lot of the features on CapCut that you couldn't use unless you had access to the internet. But if you were just doing a simple cut and paste kind of video bullshit, you could do it, but you did have to wait for the fucking internet to come back or the CapCut to come back online before you can export it. But then I found a way around that. I would just press play and screen record it. After I edited something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was screen recorded. So, I mean, there's ways around all of that. There was just a few of the features that I couldn't use that I wanted to. But, I mean, it lasted a whole 2 or 3 days, and you would think the fucking world was ending. But, for me, it was because, like I said, I do a lot of that shit, just sitting around all day fucking with content and editing shit. And I was like, damn it. But anyway, what else is going on in the world besides Trump about to ruin it again?
Trump
gonna ruin it again. He's gonna get the economy going. I mean, the fucking economy's gonna be fucking rocking and rolling around here. He's gonna stop all the bullshit coming over the border. That hateful fucker. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, what a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah.
What about the 28th Amendment, dude?
Oh yeah, they just made up an amendment, didn't they? And then they telling you it's law. Like it's the law, the 28th Amendment. So then the
law of the land now.
Yeah, the best part was watching the comments on it when everybody was making up their amendments. They're like, well, fuck, I went in on this, I want this. My favorite one, I think somebody said the 29th one was going to be no more fucking bicycle lanes, fucking people. Like we're getting rid of bicycle lanes. That's it, 29th Amendment. But it was funny to watch. And I guess they had a point to that, I don't know if they were, because I know they know that's not a fucking amendment. I mean,
yeah, it was almost like he was on track to like I don't even know. Like, it was like he was saying kind of this is how it should be. Like, this is the way it should be. You know what I mean? Like, it's the law of the land. Like, this is just a human right type deal, but he just wasn't wording it correctly at all. Is the only thing that I can think. Because I just can't sit back and, like, tell myself that he really thought that the 28th Amendment had passed and that he did that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was just wording it very weird.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I mean, what the hell he thinks at all. I mean, when I first saw it, it was Harris had tweeted something about it on, she got on X and posted something, and I was like, what? I'm thinking, am I tripping? Or so I Googled. I'm like, no, I thought it was like there's 27 amendments, and I'm thinking whatever. So it just gave us something to laugh at. But a minute,
it did, because it was funny. But because he was saying like, he was like, as far as he's concerned, or by his research, they've surpassed the requirements to make an amendment, which is 3/4 of the states have to vote on it. And he was like, and 3/4 of the states agree with me that this is basically what it's supposed to be. So I kind of understood what he was trying to say, but he just completely blew it.
Yeah, it was dumb. I do like what little Terabyte's talking about. He's the JFK files. I forgot about that. He claims he's going to release those like he claimed the first time. Hopefully he comes through with it. Not that it's going to, change the fucking world, which, I mean, I say that. I'm sure there's a lot of shit in there that people are going to be like, what the fuck? But I think we almost all kind of know, anything that we're going to read. Maybe some names in there that surprise, people. But as far as the what went on with that, I think most of us have kind of, come to the agreement that we know what all entities were involved in that, but I'm kind of waiting to see if he can get it released without all these redactions and shit anywhere you can't read anything,
Yeah. Free Lil Durk. That's what I'm talking about, Crazy Glue. Free Lil Durk.
Dude, it's so funny you say that. Look, I just has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, so y'all excuse me if you're watching, but I went down this rabbit hole the other night. I clicked on one fucking video that had something to do with that dude that died. That fuck's his name? The one that they shot.
King Von.
King Von.
Yeah.
Okay. I know nothing about him. That's after my time. I mean, that's a young man's game. But I do know the story sort of. So I was watching one video of something to do with his death, and then of course now my algorithm is all fucking King Von shit. But I didn't realize this dude had that kind of like street cred, like they said,
reputation to him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking a nut. I'm thinking, damn, people were fucking afraid of this fucking dude. Yeah, I had no idea. I'd heard a little bit of the story, and then it started intriguing me. Not so much, him. Like I said, I don't really. The music's just not for me. It's just not my thing. But it was more of just the mentality of people like that.
Right.
That can just go about their day, go fucking kill somebody at night, and then the next day they're bullshitting, making fucking videos on a podcast, fucking off, and it's like, it's just such a crazy mentality.
It really is. That's what intrigued me about it, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about King Von's music, but his story is interesting, of just the shit that he's allegedly done, and just the rate at which he did it was like, holy fuck, dude, like this dude is really a nut.
Yeah, I was kind of listening. Like I said, I wound up down a damn rabbit hole of videos, and people talking about how basically feared he was by everybody, and I'm like, well, he ain't around no more to be feared. But anyway, like I said, it was more just that mentality that always intrigues me of just being stone cold killers, but functioning in society at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just another thing that people like him do. And when I say people like him, I'm not, it's not not race thing.
No,
it's meaning people that can do that. I don't care who you are, but it's just such a weird fucking thought process, that I never understand, but I am intrigued by, it's interesting. But anyway, so somebody mentioned Lil Durk, and that's what that brought me to. Free Lil Durk. Anyway, fuck's he in prison for? I don't even know what he did.
Lil Durk?
Yeah.
Murder for hire on Quando Rondo's cousin.
Yeah. What a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
Boys are stupid. Anyway.
All that money.
But Trump gonna free him? Oh, we got them all out now. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. R.I.P. It is crazy, man, because a lot of that is it the music that leads to that shit, or is it just their street, shit that they doing outside the music that's leading to a lot of these boys getting killed?
Both, because like they were kind of doing it before the music, but like with the King Von Quando Rondo situation and Lil Durk Quando Rondo situation, like that wouldn't have happened had it not been for the music, because one's from Atlanta and one's from Chicago, you know what I mean? So they wouldn't have known each other to bump into each other. But, so it's kind of like both. They're just doing music, can't get out of that life, and then wind up running into other motherfuckers that are doing music and can't get away from the life.
I get you. I was just curious. I didn't know, because I know a lot of them get on them songs and I'm like, is that what's causing motherfuckers to kill each other just by some dumb shit they're saying on an album, or they got
all that whole situation started over a bitch? The whole situation. Yeah. Well, yes. I'm quoting the songs.
Okay.
A
bitch. We sound like Snoop Dogg. Started over a bitch.
It got a little gangsta in here for a second. My bad. Shit.
Forgot where we were.
Yeah.
B.S.ing with the guys, man. This ain't Compton. Calm down.
Crazy Glue says he's from Chicago. Did you know Vaughn?
From Chicago. Oh, is that O Block? What do they call that?
O Block is where Vaughn's from.
Is that Chicago?
It's in Chicago. It's it's like a little apartment complex. It's like
I'm trying to keep up.
It was an apartment complex, and then it kind of turned into a project in Chicago, and that's where King Von and Lil Durk's from, allegedly.
I'm gonna go visit. Think they'd allow me in? Hey guys,
probably. We go see the King Von mural. Go stand in front of it.
I'm about that life, dude. Crazy Glue from Chicago. Little Terabyte. Where are you from, Little Terabyte? I probably asked you that before on one of these episodes. I don't remember. Let's see what Little Terabyte. Where's everybody else from?
Yeah, where's everybody?
Shout out what state y'all from. I know the producer from Midnight. What is that, Justin? You
from who?
Midnight
Center. I have no clue.
Uh-oh. Should we know?
Probably. I want to know where Scared Crow's from. He was a little angry little fella.
He was mad at us. Is that the one that told us to go back to Germany?
Yeah, like 17 times.
God damn, dude, calm down, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Buy the tickets, buddy.
Shit. It's like you don't agree on shit, and all of a sudden we're Nazis. Like, dude.
Lubbock, that place, Texas.
I like Max's comment. When it comes to Trump stuff, it's really good to get the perspective of the gay community. Thank you, guys. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. We're representing it tonight.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis. Okay.
I love Tennessee.
Skate community. That's my boy. I just subscribed to you the other night, skate community. I see he's a super positive dude, man. It's like everything we post, he's on there fucking telling us to keep at it.
Hell yeah.
It's good to see some positivity on this place, because normally it's just a bunch of you fucking Nazis, all this other bullshit.
Well, we appreciate you, Skate.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Crazy Glue said they produced some Juice WRLD, all the girls that sing.
Gotcha.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Crazy, you gonna take me to O Block? You could be my guide.
We go to 64th and 65th.
Like, who brought the white dude? Like, you better have my back too if we go. I'm gonna look something up, and my fucking keyboard ain't working.
We have to go buy shit. We'll go out there with like a pocket full of hundreds and shit, cruise around.
So what else is going on exciting, man? What's going on in the world, y'all? Y'all tell us what's going on. This is where we get all our news from, the comments. What's going on? Let me see. Let me go where the real news is on X. See what's going on.
Oh, well, actually, see, Crazy Glue's not from 6030 knows. Crazy Glue, have you seen an uptick in ICE agents out there? I've heard that they're sending, what was it, 200 or 300 ICE agents to Chicago. I just didn't know if they've made it, like if, how crazy it is. I know what the media tells us, but, you never know when you're not on the ground. So
yeah, that's what they were saying, that they had a huge update. But And I'm with you. I mean, you hear a lot of that shit, but you never know, man. A lot of
Right.
it's people trying to freak other people out or wanting you to fucking click on their nonsense.
Yeah,
But
because that's what I read was that that's kind of where they were starting is Chicago, and they were going to send 200 or 300 ICE agents out there to kind of get the show on the road. But again, that's also the media, and you know how they do. So,
well, let me
he
see.
said no. So
I'm showing everybody again. I want to show y'all how much fucking snow we got down here. I know there's some of y'all that's like, whatever, it's snow. Fuck that. I'm in southern Louisiana. We don't see this shit. Let me show y'all what I got. Let me share the screen with you guys. Let's see. I'm gonna show y'all. Look at this snow. It's fucking crazy, man. At least for me or us.
it is.
Look at that. That's my property. I mean, look at that shit. Now we are like, I mean, damn near as south as you can get. Like, and it was probably, I don't know, 8 inches or so of this bullshit all fucking day long. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go out in it. And it's like, okay, this shit's cold. I'm going back inside.
Dude, I decided to build a snowman earlier, right? Yeah. And I was wearing leather gloves because that's all I had, and they don't work great for the cold, but they work better than bare hands. But like, it's like my hands went like completely through the being cold stage straight to being numb. So by the time I got back inside and started warming my hands up, it felt like I had them in a vice and just squeezed, and they hurt so fucking bad.
I know.
Felt like my fingers were about to fall off. I was waiting on them to be black. I was like, shit.
Say we don't know how to act around here when it got that cold, man. Everybody,
it's cold out here for a pimp.
It was. I know, but I was on TikTok. I posted something about it, and of course, everybody from around the country that lives in this shit is like, man, like basically, shut the fuck up, man. I'm over here in fucking Buffalo. There's 6 foot of snow, and it's fucking -9. I'm like, because I was telling them on there, can y'all please, you Yankees, come get this fucking weather?
Take
we
it,
don't
man.
want this shit.
Yeah,
you look at it, out your window for a few minutes, and it's like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think like. The all-time like snowfall record was, I mean, I think in Baton Rouge it was like 12 inches, but it was over a 2-day span.
Yeah.
And that was in 1893.
Yeah,
1893. And so we've literally never seen anything like this down here, and especially the people that are alive today have not seen the kind of snow we got today in Louisiana and South Louisiana.
Global warming.
That's what I saw on Facebook. Somebody said that the snow is from the global warming.
Reared its ugly face, man. No, I don't know. It was, like I said, it was odd. It might have been Trump. Like, here you go. Let's celebrate. Everybody stay home. He gave the whole South off. The whole fucking South Coast. Well, at least around here, you couldn't go to work if you wanted to, man. He's fucked,
Nah, because I was trying, man, and I woke up this morning. It was already like I was hoping that it was going to kind of follow the forecast and it was going to start snowing about noon, and then I woke up and it was already on the ground. I was like, fuck, because I was trying to go to work today, but
fuck all that. No, fuck all that. But anyway,
your boy got bills, man.
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, guys? Everybody,
Crazy Blue said what you think about the TikTok ban, China spying on us. Man, look, as far as the spying stuff, Google your name, like put your full name in Google and just look at the information that already pops up. You Google your name, you can find your address, your phone number, emails, old phone numbers. Like, there's so much information out there already. I just don't know what extra they'd be getting from TikTok. If anything, I could see it being used as a tool to just create a younger generation of brain dead Americans,
Well, and I don't think it's so much of what information they're getting, it's who is getting it is what the concern was, because it's no different than the info that like Meta or Facebook, whatever you want to call it, and all these other platforms get from you. But I think what they were more concerned about who was getting it, which is China. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess I'm saying like it's as easy as a Google search, Yeah. Like you don't even have to give it away.
Yeah, exactly. I think they got it anyway if they want it. It doesn't take TikTok for China to get your fucking info. It's all over the fucking place now. So that I will say, yeah, it didn't. The shit don't bother me. I don't know who was really concerned about that, because if you are, you wouldn't be on any of this shit. You know what I mean?
And if the government was really concerned, they wouldn't have let that fucking balloon fly straight across the country. So
and them drones. That's another thing
and the
he said
fucking
he's going to let us do. He said he'll within the first week, he claims he'll let us know what the fuck was going on with them drones, because they still hadn't said anything. They still hadn't answered that shit.
Still ain't said nothing.
Which lets me know that's going to have something to do with our government. You know what I mean?
Do you think, because I was kind of reading some conspiracies, like small conspiracies, but conspiracies of the drones may be part of the reason why Trump switched the location of the inauguration and went inside with it, because the drones had been flying around and,
Well, it could have been a security issue, but wasn't it cold as fuck where they were? And that was part of what
I'm sure.
Inclement weather, I think.
Yeah, but they kind of were also showing, like, I think it was Obama's inauguration, and they were all out there in coats and snow and shit. So they were like, I mean, it's not the end of the world that it was cold. It may have been uncomfortable, but it wasn't. I guess they're saying it wasn't really cold enough to switch it up like that.
And not only that, but if you've got some idiot out there, or some organization conspiring to do what they tried to do to him already, what better night than when he's getting inaugurated? You know what I mean? So it may have been multiple reasons of security. You know what I mean? It could have had something to do with those drones, if they really don't know what they are, or if they do know what they are and they realize, hey, we don't need to be outside. But it could also just be tightening up security just in case, because they've already tried to off them a couple times. So what's going to make them stop now? So it may have been as simple as that, because I'm with you. I don't know if the weather had anything to do with it. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want to stand out in that shit, just from dealing with what we're dealing with over here for a fucking day. I'm over it, so I think they did a favor to everybody when they moved it in, but so I don't know, that's another thing that the conspiracies are going to fly, instead of just saying, hey, it was, maybe it was fucking cold, and Trump's like, well, fuck it, let's just do it inside, But I think it was more security. I think his team or whoever's like, look, it's just best that we just move this shit inside. Let's get it over with. It'll still be an amazing fucking event or whatever, until they had Billy Ray Cyrus up there, kind of.
Oh my God, dude!
You saw that debacle.
I saw a clip of it. What happened? Was he really just out there fucked up and just didn't have a band, or
no? He had nothing would play. Like, he would get no sound from anything. It was the issue with technical issue where there was no backtrack playing or nothing like that. It was like, oh shit. So he had to basically go a cappella, and it was fucking garbage. Not that anybody who's ever listened to Billy Ray Cyrus, not that it was some fucking something that you want to listen to anyway, like he was Adele or something up there singing, but it was just so. It was like, what in the fuck? How did this dude ever cut a record? You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless he was just that fucked up last night, but it was just, I'd be embarrassed. I'd have just left. I'd be, all right, fuck it, I'm done. Y'all can have fucking Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, what the fuck are they doing there anyway? Get the fuck out of here. Trump gets some motherfuckers up there, man. Like Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, how much did he have to beg to come there? He must know Trump from back in the day.
Has to.
I mean, it's not like who would invite him? You know what I mean? Like, if you're on Trump's team, man, make sure you got Billy Ray. No, that must have been, he owed him a favor or something.
Oh, Jesus. White people can't say fuck anymore? Is that where we're at?
Why? What happened?
I said, why is white people's using more F-bomb than black people is
I don't know.
His exact quote. I didn't know that was a claimed word.
Oh, I don't know.
How about Miley?
I
haven't seen Miley in a minute. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. I apologize. I'll clean it up.
Apparently, just
so then I'd be like, why is this guy saying frickin' every time he, what the hell?
Well, I think his problem was that you were using it more than black people do.
Oh, fuck that.
What he was going at. So
I'll fucking
really gay vibes.
This is what hey.
Yeah.
It's fucking, look, Trump's back. Fuck that. Free speech.
Yeah.
That's another thing he was gonna get control of, is all this fucking people trying to, tell everybody what they can say and what they can't. So fuck it. But anyway, that's the last that's the last one you're gonna hear out of me for the rest of the night. We're upsetting people.
Yeah.
We're not here to do that. We're here to make friends.
We are.
Even with people that call us Nazis. Asshole.
So angry.
They throw that word out too, like it means anything to people like us, like our age and all. Like, I don't call a fucking Nazi. Like,
yeah. And then it's like, I don't care. Call me what you want.
Funny, yeah. All these white supremacists running around that I've never seen, and I'm down in the South. You know what I mean? I've seen some racist people. Don't get me wrong, on both sides of the spectrum. People are just going to be people. You know, there's always prejudices and somebody that may have a problem with another race, but as far as these skinheads that supposedly run around, or these Klan members all over the South, I've never seen one. You know, never been to a rally, so I don't know.
Nope, I haven't attended yet. I haven't.
What else, man?
I haven't even seen one
no
happen. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen anything posted anywhere holy fuck, these fucking.
Oh, you just said the F word. We're cutting that out.
I was quoting a hypothetical post.
All right, no more F words.
About
we're committed.
Somebody passing a Klan rally and mentioning it, I've just never seen it, except for documentaries. That's the only place I've seen any kind of
Yeah, and that's look, we're from deep in the South, and all we've ever seen them is on TV when somebody's claiming that they exist. Well, I'm not saying they never existed. I'm not trying to downplay, shit, but I'm talking about nowadays,
No, but
from what I heard, the last administration was saying the biggest threat to America is, white supremacy. And I'm like what? These white supremacists are just running around fucking, destroy. I don't know. It was just the weirdest statement. Trying to make some shit up that just doesn't fucking exist anymore in bulk, at least. It doesn't exist as much as they want it to. I'm not saying that shit doesn't exist, and I'm not trying to downplay what happened in the past, but it's come on, guys. We're a little past that now, and I can tell you because I live deep in the fucking freaking South. Sorry, damn it. I used the F-bomb on YouTube and I got reported.
Any from the hood. So
and you could say that.
Really?
I say it all day long on here. I guess anybody can report you.
I guess you can get reported. That's fucking dumb.
It happens all the time. This guy, Scarecrow, told us to go back to Germany, you effing Nazis. He said
sure
it.
Did.
Damn it. What else is going on, world? How y'all doing out there tonight? If you're just joining us, BSing with the guys, and that is all we were doing, is sitting here BSing. If you're looking for some insight or some just super fucking freaking something that's going to blow your mind, you may want to scroll past this.
If you're trying to get smarter and gain brain cells tonight, this is not the place for you.
If you're trying to learn something, just go ahead and leave. We're just on here bullshitting, hanging out, doing what we do down here in southern Louisiana. Trying to stay warm. Yep. You can't tell because we're indoors, but if we walk out there, it is a beast right now. Dude.
I walked into the studio and it had to be 60 degrees in here. I was like,
oh yeah, because your shit's upstairs, huh?
Yeah.
Got upstairs. Yeah, fuck all. No, it's a beast. And like I said, I know some people around the country are used to that shit, man. I can't get over it, dude. I don't know how people live in that shit. How do people do it? How do they do that every day? I can't even even leave. If I wanted to leave right now, I couldn't. Now, I guess they prep their streets and they have machines that we don't have around here. But it's I couldn't get nowhere if I wanted to right now.
No,
we're just snowed in. It snows one day down here, and everybody's snowed in for a week. We can't leave. It's gone.
And that's nuts because you'll hear and see pictures of you ever seen the pictures of up north when the snow's up to the power lines and shit? It's
yeah, well, that's what I said. Some guy was in, like I said, on TikTok bitching at me for complaining, saying that, dude, I got 6 foot of snow right now in Buffalo. Y'all down there in the South going crazy over 6 inches. It's well, you're accustomed to that shit. And with that 6 foot of snow, they can probably still leave their house and go somewhere. You know what I mean? Because that's what they deal with over there. They've got ways that they
got the machines.
Shit we don't even know about. Well, over here, you get 6 inches, you ain't going nowhere.
No.
You know what I mean? They damn near made it illegal to leave. They told you can, but please don't. Don't go anywhere because they're not trying to come out and rescue your ass when you're in a ditch because you can't drive.
And they said it too. They said they are not.
I don't blame them.
They're not dispatching unless it's life threatening.
Dude, I don't blame. Look, I was on Facebook a few hours ago, and somebody was talking about, they were on the scene of somebody that wrecked or something in this shit, in my local area. And I'm thinking, I'd have left them bastards there. Been like, we told y'all, there ain't nothing open. Like, where you think you're going? Unless it was an emergency, but that wasn't the case. They probably out joyriding, just trying to look at all the snow. The only idiot on the road, and they're in a ditch, and now you got to call law enforcement, so they got to get out in this bullshit. I'd have told them, look, when the snow's gone, we'll come assist.
Yep.
But
get to stepping. Big D Bob
Big D
wants to know if we're stoked about the Fauci pardon.
Am I stoked about it? Well, it's it's good to see them basically admit that he was a damn criminal, because that's all that did when he sat there and did those pardons. It just let you know there was something criminal going on, or there'd be no reason to do it. I do know that. I mean, I think he's a dirty, evil bastard, and I think everybody knows by now. Well, now people on that side, they don't want to admit it or say it out loud, but they know that son of a bitch lied about 80% of what he was telling us about that shit during that pandemic. You know what I mean?
Didn't he get sued by the weird talking guy? What's his name?
The weird talking guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't ring a bell.
The food and health dude that just
RFK?
Yeah.
Weird talking guy.
He got a crazy voice.
I think he did. I mean, I don't know. He's had so many lawsuits against everybody that had anything to do with, basically the pharmaceutical industry and all. I mean, he's been fighting them for decades. I mean, he's big on that shit, man. He's big on it. And that's another guy that I don't know how people hate him. He's huge on fighting for the environment. He's been to court multiple times, had multiple lawsuits that he's won, when fighting for the environment and fighting for the health of people, and going to war against these pharmaceutical companies, and people still hate him. As soon as he pulled out of their party, they hated him. Yeah. And it's like, come on, guys. I mean, you can, every now and then you can have a little bit of common sense and just step away from your side for a second and say, well, let me give this guy his props. But you don't hear much of that nowadays. But anyway, what else is he pulling? Oh, the World Health Organization, the WHO he was pulling out of, which they're useless too. You know what I mean? Everybody involved in that shit that went on during that pandemic they're all fucking free. There I go with the F-bombs. They're all useless. You know what I mean? And that's not to say they haven't ever done any good, but they've gone, so corrupt. There's so much money involved in that stuff nowadays that none of it is just cut and dried. We're just doing this for the betterment of the people. We're doing this to make people wealthy. And that's when things go sour. You know what I mean? There's just too much money to be made in all of that shit. So it all gets corrupt. I mean, there's almost no way around it, because that's all money does. It just breeds corruption. I mean, somebody's going to take advantage of some sort of system to benefit themselves. It never fails. That's what brings down every culture, every society. It's just greed, and eventually it goes overboard to where it just all comes crashing down. But they're no exception. The WHO and the military industrial complex. I mean, all them people, it's all a big money grab, man.
Yep.
But I need a money grab. I'm just hating because I'm not in on it, But I'll be on Fauci's you can put me as a board member. Give me some of that money that you earn, you bastard.
Pay me.
Yeah. Anyway. What is going on that we don't have to bitch about? Everybody asks these questions. All it does is just start bitching about it.
That we don't have to bitch about. Jeez.
Isn't that something?
Asking a lot.
Isn't that something? What's the next? So what holiday? Oh, MLK just passed.
Sure did.
R.I.P. Trump kind of overshadowed that. Everybody thought they got off of the inauguration.
I saw MLK the third sat down with Trump and had a conversation. They were apparently a long conversation. They were talking and working shit out, and at least one of them walked out happy.
I think it was his wife or somebody, like his family. It's been like they've been friends with Trump. You know what I mean? Because he fucking used to rub elbows with all those people, man. Trump none of that shit started until he ran for president. You know what I'm saying? As far as him being such a racist,
yeah.
people that really know him, like, you know, the Kings or whatever, the Martin Luther King's family, they know better, man. They know better than that shit. You know, even these assholes, you know, that when, you know, the Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all them, when they started that shit or whatever, they know better. Because it's the same people that would sit there and, you know, take whatever money Trump was donating to them for their cause back in the day. You know, they didn't have a problem with that, sitting down, going to these dinners with them and these little fancy meetings, whatever they were doing. There's plenty of video, plenty of picture out there. And all of a sudden, 2016 comes, and now he hates black people, you know?
Yep.
I'm like, come on, guys. But you can see we're past that now. We're past it. You see the athletes are celebrating Trump. Rappers are celebrating Trump. It doesn't matter. He's brought us all together. We're one big happy nation now. No more arguing. No more fighting. All the world's problems are solved. I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with it.
Violent U.S. Capitol rioters and far-right militia leaders set free by Trump with Elon Musk's support. CNN.
Oh, speaking of set free, that's one of the biggest news stories that happened. We didn't even bring it up. It's the J6ers, man. J6ers are out. They're posting videos already online. I mean, they already chasing clout.
They are. Okay, so it's the only thing with the pardoning of the J6ers, right, is that I have seen, you know, other people mention that if Fauci wasn't doing illegal shit, he wouldn't need to be pardoned, right?
Yeah. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Look, you know, I mean, I'm glad they did get pardoned. You know what I mean? But
I know what you mean.
It's also crazy to hear both of those things being said at the same time.
It is.
And depending on what side you're on, it's completely different, you know.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what's so crazy about that, because I posted a TikTok the other day, and it was talking about that, you know, about how I was talking about the Fauci thing and basically saying if they were innocent, there would be no need for a pardon. Well, as I'm recording that to post it, the thought hit me, you know, and I'm thinking, well, I know the first comment's going to be, well, what about the J6? You know, I'm thinking, but I don't care. I'm posting it anyway because it gets people riled up, which it did. You know, it got its action I was looking for. But, you know, it is a good point. It just depends on whether or not you personally believe that the people being pardoned did something wrong. Myself, I think there's a lot of people that were in there in January 6th. I think there's a lot of people that were there that are behind bars that didn't deserve to get the sentences that they got. Let's put it that way. They brought the hammer down on these people to basically make a point. You know what I mean? They became political prisoners to say, hey, don't ever think about trying to do this shit again. No matter what y'all were doing, don't ever think you're going to come in here and run shit in Washington. You know what I mean? And it also made Trump look horrible. The worst they can paint these people, to say these people were horrible. They were in there trying to destroy shit. They were trying to kill us. That's all Trump supporters. And he's, you know, he incited it. That's all that was. So they were sitting there throwing basically a lot of innocent people in prison just to try to make a point, which is sick. It's an evil game they played with a lot of those people, you know, and that's not to say everybody there wasn't causing trouble, but I saw the videos. Anybody who paid attention saw the videos of a lot of these people being ushered into that place by law enforcement. You know what I mean? So how is that? How are they ushered into place and then they all go to dropping F-bombs and they all go to jail for, you know, trespassing or whatever the hell they charge these people with? But it was all nonsense. So going back to the original question, which is, you know, how can you feel like pardoning somebody like, you know, whatever Biden did is because the people are criminals, so they had to be pardoned, but yet the J6ers, you're saying they're not. It's a good argument. I get it. I just believe there was a lot of people sitting in prison over that January 6th shit that either shouldn't have been there or they were given hella long sentences that they didn't deserve. I mean, some people got like 20 years. I mean, 20 years for what? You know what I mean? They got killers that are out quicker than that. They got child molesters that are out faster than that. You know what I'm saying? They got rapists that are out there, and you giving somebody that went into the Capitol 20 years. Yeah, I'm gonna say to F, get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous. So that's my argument against that. You know,
I like it.
That's why, because like I said, I did think that to myself. I said, well, damn, that's kind of, I'm sitting there
Yeah.
saying you don't need a pardon if you're innocent, but yet I'm agreeing with J6ers being let out. So it is kind of a conundrum, but
Yeah, because I agree with you 100%. I know that the question was coming as soon as I saw somebody saying, like Fauci and whoever else Biden had pardoned at the time, well, if you were innocent, you wouldn't need a pardon,
right.
I was like, well, I know this is going to be the next big thing of the
Yeah.
J6ers being pardoned, So I just wanted to know your feelings
No,
on it. But
and the funny thing is when I posted that on TikTok, I was surprised it took about, I don't know, 5 or 6 comments before somebody caught that, and I was thinking it's coming. It's coming. Somebody's going to say that, and sure enough, somebody hit it. And, I was like, well, that's a good point. I mean, I get your point, but to me, like I said, I mean, it just depends on who you think is innocent and who's not. Now, in my eyes, Fauci is guilty of basically murder. I think there were people that died under his advice that didn't have to.
yeah.
Example, your grandfather.
Yep.
Your grandfather died because they stuck him on a fucking ventilator as soon as they could and said, well, there's nothing else we can do.
Right.
We're not allowed to give you anything else. We, basically we're just going by what Fauci and his minions are telling us, which is there's nothing else we can do. Stick him on a ventilator and hope for the best. And then, he passed away. I think there's a lot of people out there that lost loved ones that didn't have to. That's evil, and it should be criminal. And it is
because
criminal. That's why
even prior to the ventilator, there was no medicines being given except for, just like you would treat the common cold of like, we're going to treat the symptoms and make you not feel like ass the whole time. But as far as anything to heal this, there's nothing we can do. Fauci hasn't said that we can give anything to you, so we can't,
Right. And they were getting to where even if it's like, hey, well, why don't we just try it? No, we can't do that. We can't, we can't, like the ivermectin shit. They were pharmacies that wouldn't fill it back then. Even if you got a doctor that would prescribe it, they wouldn't fill it. That son of a bitch ought to be in prison too. Like, who the hell are you to not fill my prescription because it doesn't go along with whatever your beliefs are? You know what I mean? There was nothing illegal about doing it. It's just the pharmacists were like, no, that's not going to do you any good. And it's like, it's not going to hurt me. Fill it, But so all that was backed by, Fauci and his World Health Organization and all that shit. So I believe there was a lot of criminal activity that went on that, they knew there was going to be no consequences to it. They could get away with whatever they wanted to. It made this pharmaceutical, companies mega wealthy, which they were before. They were wealthy, but they made a lot of money, of money. And it all stemmed behind people like Fauci saying there is no other forms of treatment. So we have to get this emergency use authorization for these shots. That's where the shit stemmed from. They had to go with that. They couldn't say any other story. They had to stick to that. And now when when you start reading the shit that they're admitting to now, although quietly, you got to dig for it, but the CDC, it's on their website, and now it's starting, the narrative starting to shift over the past couple of years on what's good for you or how dangerous this actually was or wasn't. But the damage is done. You know what I mean? People lost livelihoods over that shit. They lost loved ones. They lost their lives. I mean, it's terrible. And to pardon somebody for that shit, that's sick, man. This ain't somebody who just went into the damn Capitol building when they weren't supposed to be there. I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. What else did he pardon? The J6 committee, because he knows that was bullshit too. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people there that did shit that was unlawful to get these people locked up. You know what I mean? So their ass was going to be on the line had Trump come after them, because they handled that shit illegally to even get these people thrown in prison for all these years. That's what I mean. The whole thing's a mess. There was no reason for him to throw out those pardons unless there was something to be concerned about. Now, his excuse was that he was afraid they were going to use it, like political warfare, basically, that we're going to come after. But the same shit they did to him, basically. You know what I mean? It's like, we're afraid he's going to do that to us. So we're going to go ahead and pardon all these people.
Like, shit.
Yeah, I think
he did win.
Like, damn near everybody in his family got a pardon.
It was a list.
Last name's Biden, you get a pardon.
Yeah.
The whole thing's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But, gives us something to bitch about.
It
But
does. And I
it just looks
wonder,
weird.
you think they know who the pipe bomber dude was?
The one that dropped that the ones that
He dropped one in front of
in
the
front of the
Democrat building and the
yeah,
Republican building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because did they have him on film? Didn't they have somebody on video dropping, like setting it
Yeah.
down? Yeah,
Like
yeah.
clear film too. Like
It is very odd that was never pursued more, at least in the public. You know what I mean? You didn't hear much about it. It kind of just went away. You know what I mean? Like they didn't give a shit who this guy was. You know what I mean? Well, the bomb didn't go off, so who cares? Type
and
whatever.
they just brought it up again. Like they released some new video and shit. And I say just, it was probably like 3 weeks ago. They brought it up again. But so I was just intrigued that the FBI couldn't find who this person was, and they had the unexploded bombs, they had video footage, and
there's got to be something to it without, putting on the tinfoil hat. There has to be more to it. It can't just be cut and dry. We just don't know who it is. End of story. I don't believe that. I mean, somebody set a damn bomb down.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on now, man. I'm with you. It just seems so fishy that it just kind of went away, kind of like this asshole that, the whole Trump getting shot in the ear and that story just kind of went away. I mean, you don't hear nothing else about, nothing about this kid. They didn't know anything about him. His whole apartment was scrubbed clean, like professionally, before they even went over there, supposedly. I mean, so all of that nonsense, man. It none of it makes any sense, but half the country will call you crazy if you question it,
Right.
But I'm with you. It's like somebody drops off a bag with a bomb in it. The FBI, becomes in charge, and then all of a sudden you don't hear nothing about it. I mean,
dude, if I went and dropped off a pipe bomb at Winn-Dixie tomorrow, the FBI would be at my house in fucking 2 hours.
Well, let's make it clear. You're not going
I'm not.
You're just hypothetically. Yeah. Hypothetically, if
I'll be getting swatted tonight.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, that stories like that, they just don't go away. You find out who the hell did that, because that's not. I mean, it's not a game. I mean, that could have. I mean, that's an act of terrorism, basically. So usually they don't just go away. They figure out who the hell this was, and the public wants to know. There's no outcry anymore. It's kind of swept under the rug. Yeah, that's gone. I don't know. You see that a lot with the stories that, when the feds are involved, and then people start to question it, and then they're looking at you like, what's the problem? Why are you questioning it? We got it. And it's like, well, you're not telling us anything.
Yeah, it's like,
kind of like the fucking Vegas shooter. Oh, I said the F-bomb. Sorry, guys. The dude in Vegas that shot up, that country music festival. What was the deal with him? Did he act alone? You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of went away. I mean, it was talked about for a little bit, but I don't believe a damn thing they were saying about him. It had to be a little, had to be something else going on,
Yeah, definitely.
I ain't saying the government was involved, but I mean, it had to be more than just some rogue asshole that decided to take up, all his artillery up to the damn hotel room and just shoot up a country concert. That's just the oddest shit. It made no sense at all. I don't know. Maybe I didn't read into it enough, but I don't remember them really having any.
There really wasn't many details at all.
Yeah. No. But I don't know.
Stephen Paddock.
That was his name.
Yeah. But switching gears a little bit. I know you watched
grind them gears.
I know you watched the Oxycontin documentary.
Yes, I did.
Did you watch American Pain?
No. Is it another one?
It was about the Florida pill mills when they were a big thing.
Well, that was kind of part of the Oxy story, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like in depth. But no, that's
all it was about.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Amazon Prime Video or HBO or one of the.
Pill mills were. I mean, they were rolling in the money, dude.
Yeah, and they're following the two biggest pill mills, that were in Florida. And it's a really, really, really interesting documentary on, just kind of how it went down and everything like that. And it's.
Yeah, I'm about to check it out. I've been. I think the last thing I just got done watching was that Tires with Shane Gillis. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix. It's pretty good. It's raw. It's kind of our kind of comedy, sense of humor. You know, they kind of go back to the old school comedy where it's okay to offend somebody. It's just a joke. You know? I mean, it's whatever. Get over it. But it's a pretty good one. It's only about 6 or 7 episodes long right now in the first season. But you know, it's been out for a little bit. But I decided to binge watch that, so I'll check that out. Just got done with that. I'll probably check out that one you're talking about because I like seeing that shit, man. When it comes to these pharmaceuticals and just how dirty of a game all that is, you know, it's very interesting shit, man. Because a lot of people don't pay enough attention to that shit and what goes on, you know what I mean? And they just do whatever a doctor says. It's like, oh, you know, you're hurting, take these. And that's how the Oxycontin shit got started. I mean, it was, you know, oh, your back hurts, here, take this. And in the doctor's defense, a lot of them didn't know. They were just going by what was told to them by people like the FDA and Fauci and all them assholes. It's the same principle. They're just going by what they're told by these evil bastards that are out there trying to make money.
Now, I will say, these doctors and these pill mills, them bitches knew.
They knew,
they fucking knew.
Once dude. Well, once the Oxycontin shit kicked off and became, you know, as big as it was, and there was a lot of people out there like the ones you're talking about that were like, oh shit, we can make a lot of money with this. And they just don't care who it affected, you know what I mean? But there were a lot of doctors in the beginning, they didn't realize they were getting their patients hooked on this shit. When their patients were addicted and needed more, the damn people that make the Oxycontin was saying that it wasn't withdrawals they were having. It's just that their pain was getting worse. So give them a higher dose now. You know, when they would get off of this shit and be like, doc, I'm really hurting. Well, it's not the medicine that's making you hurt. It's your pain is coming back. So, and that they were just being told that, you know what I mean? But yeah, these pill mill people, oh, they knew exactly what they were doing, dude. That was a huge cash cow.
It was. Because
have you finished it?
Yeah.
What kind of money were they talking?
Millions. And I think the pill mills, so Buddy owned 3 of them total, and his main one over the course of, it was like 2 years, it was open, brought in $8 or $9 million profits. And I mean, like, it was so bad that the businesses around them were calling the police because there was just like junkies in the parking lot just fucking shooting up. They'd walk out of the doctor's office, get in their car, and just stick a needle in their arm, and they'd be snorting pills. So
what were they shooting? I guess they
had the it was the hydrocodones and shit. Like it was
so
when
it
the
wasn't
Roxy's.
just
They didn't have any Oxycontin at all in this documentary. It was more of hydrocodones and Xanax.
Oh yeah. Well, that's I was saying I didn't know they were doing that in them pill mills. I thought it was all based on when that Oxycontin was hitting big in the country.
No, this was based in, I think it was 03.
Damn.
It was 03, 04. And dude, I mean, they were like, there's undercover video of dude will go in, hey, you know, my back's hurting, you know, I slipped out of bed or something. Doctor's like, all right, well, have you ever taken, you know, a Vicodin 30 or whatever the fuck? No. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to start you off with 120. And then next time we'll bump you up to 240. And it's like,
I got something for you, buddy. God damn. So look, they didn't even ease them in. Like, look, I'm going to give you 10. If you still have an issue, come back. See, they knew exactly what they were doing. Huh?
He did, because they were paying the doctors, it was like $50 per patient they could get out, and they were doing 100 patients a day per doctor, you know? So the doctor will walk out of there with $5,000 cash at the end of the day.
Son of a bitch, dude. I mean, it doesn't, man, it doesn't make it right, but I can see how somebody who doesn't really have the best, you know, the best interest in mind, that they could go for that. You know what I mean? It's very tempting, but if you know what that shit's gonna do to somebody, I mean, it's a very very evil thing to do.
Even worse, so when you open up a doctor's office, or I don't know if it was like specific to the pill mills or if it's all doctors' offices, but you know, you're getting your wholesale on your drugs and everything that you're selling, which they had pharmacies in these pill mills. So it's a pill mill with doctors and a pharmacy all in one place, right?
Yeah.
Well, so somebody would be contracted through the wholesalers to check out the doctor's office to make sure it was legit, you know? And so it was an ex-DEA agent, and he was the one contracted. So he'd be going into these pill mills, and he'd report back with his little sheet circled yeses and nos, da-da-da, and he would report back to the manufacturers whether they should sell these drugs to these pill mills. And of course, he never said no. And it's like, you're ex-DEA. I know you know what the fuck this shit does.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see. I know you had mentioned they had the pharmacies in them. I know a lot of them, they would be like a pharmacy right next door or somewhere close that they were kind of in cahoots with. You know, I think they actually had one. I want to say that one of the brothers was a doctor and the other one was a pharmacist. So, I mean, they were just raking this shit, and it was in Florida. I don't know why it hit so big in Florida, but
because there was no regulation on it.
Oh, okay.
So like apparently now in Florida, and even back then and a lot of places around the country, like if you go to your doctor tomorrow and get a script for Oxycontin, and then you go to another doctor the same day and get a script for Oxycontin, if you go and fill those, even if you fill them at different times, it'll still show in a database that you filled a prescription for Oxycontin already. And then it'll flag it, and they'll send that to the DEA, and then the DEA is going to come talk to you like, hey, what the fuck are you doing, you know?
So that wasn't going on over there?
No, there was no control over it.
I got you. Because they had they had some here back in the day. Yeah. You know, but I guess we got in control of it before Florida, because it was just every story I hear about these pill mills, it was all based out of Florida. Every documentary you watch, but I know for a fact that shit was happening over here in Louisiana, because I know people that would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would go in there and get their 100, 200 pills or whatever, and then a couple of days or a week or something later, they'd be back in there. You know? And it was either to take them all or to sell them, but either way, they were getting their hands on these absorbent amounts of these damn pills. So it was going on down here, but apparently it wasn't as prevalent as it was in Florida, because my God, every big one you hear about was based out of Florida.
Yeah, and I mean, they were out of state patients and shit they were taking. Like one of the people they interview in the documentary, they're from Tennessee, and they would drive down, 4 trips a week from Tennessee to Florida, picking up pills and bringing them back. They'd load up a van, like a church van full of motherfuckers, bringing them down to Florida. Everybody would get a script. They'd pay them out for their script and drive back to Tennessee and keep all the pills.
Damn. Yeah, that shit. Everybody was making money on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, I know the people I knew that were into it, it was mainly to sell them. You know, they would take whatever they needed just for their little habit or whatever, and then they would just, rake in, $5-10 a pill or whatever it was,
Yeah.
Like, damn, I was never big on them. Like I said, I never tried them. Never was real big on them. Like, there'd be sometimes I'd go to a doctor or a dentist, and he'd be like, look, I'm gonna write you a script for that. I'm like, I don't need that. And they look at you like you're crazy. Like,
yeah.
I said, no, I don't really take them. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and write it in. It's like, and now that I know what goes on, like, they want to write that shit anyway for you.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Because when you start to learn they're all in cahoots and they get kickbacks, it's like, that's why they're so persistent. It's not because they give a shit, because they always hide it behind, well, just in case you start hurting, I'm going to write this. Like, well, how about I try ibuprofen or Tylenol first? Yeah. And then if I'm still hurting, I'll talk to you later about these pills or whatever. But it's never that. It's always, well, I'm going to go ahead and write it for you. Just go ahead and fill it just in case. And now you know why.
Because I'm with you. I won't take them either.
Sorry. Drew said, chimed in with MAGA. You right?
Yes.
I'll give you that, buddy.
Amen, brother.
He is going to make America great again. I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but, I believe it. Starting to see it turn, like I said, man, the kind of end to the woke bullshit. You know what I mean? We've said it before. There's nothing wrong with being, just making progress and being a little progressive, but it just went so far, man. It went so far. Shit was just so crazy. What got me, and it's a hot button topic, was when they started getting the kids involved. Yeah. With the gender things and making these life altering decisions at 8, 9 years old. And I know it's not like it was happening everywhere all the time. And I'm sure it was more, just broadcasted by the media because it's what you read about, but it still was happening. Yeah. You know what I mean? It may not have been happening a lot, but it was happening, and it just didn't need to happen at all. You know, these kids don't even, you don't even let your kid decide what they want to eat for the most part when they're that young. You know what I mean? And so that's when it was starting to say, okay, well, it's going a little too far now. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. It's like, now you're fucking with these kids. You know what I mean? Sorry for the F-bomb, y'all. But now you're messing with these kids. And that's when most people are like, all right, you're getting a little crazy now. Let's leave the children out of it. It's like, try to convince me of some nonsense. I'm an adult, but let's leave these children out of it. And I think they made a huge mistake when they started that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the athletic shit, you know, with these guys, honestly, the guys competing in women's sports. I mean, that was a big knock because the average person knows that shit ain't right. You know what I mean? I mean, people know that. Anybody with a sane mind is like, okay, this ain't cool. You know what I mean? Now y'all taking this a little too far. Like, you know, you can't just decide you want to dominate something and then say, well, guess what? I'm going to identify as this now. It's stupid. You know, it made no sense. And I can't believe these colleges allowed that shit to go on. You know, all they had to do was nip that shit in the bud in the very beginning and say, no.
That's it.
But you know, they didn't want the backlash because back then it would have been a freaking firestorm they were facing by saying that, you know. So it takes somebody like Trump to come out and say, you know what, we're going to say there's 2 genders only. And, you know, now everybody has to go by it. So it just makes it easier. It's like, well, sorry, it's the law. You know, we can't let you. That makes it easy because it's a tough decision or a tough position to be in. You know, if you're a big corporation or if you're a big school or something, and you know you don't want that kind of backlash on these hot button topics. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, what do we do? You know, you cater to one side, you're pissing off this side, so you basically got to cater to the side that's the loudest. You know what I mean? And that's always that side. You know,
every time.
We'll bitch about it and we'll kind of, you know, I guess voice our opinions in the voting booth a lot, but they do it all day, every day, everywhere they go. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to deal with that shit. So I mean, it's good to see some of them starting to push back, though. You know, some of these businesses are starting to not be so cowardice, you know, even though Zuck's still at it. You know, I'm still on the fence with old Zuckerberg. I don't know how to take him. You know? I do know the funniest part of him being on Rogan was when he was talking about how much of an avid hunter he is now. You know, and he loves to bow hunt. And then Rogan's like, oh, okay, cool. What kind of bow you use? Well, I haven't really got to do it a lot this year, so I don't remember. He's like, gosh, this is embarrassing. And it's like, you fucking douchebag. Like, stop lying. You know, no, I mean, I don't doubt he's bow hunting, but it was just so funny because it's like, all right, he's not there yet. You know, he's kind of transitioning over to being a little bit more manly, not such a dweeb, but
he's working on it.
Take your time. Yeah, just, you know, spit. I don't even bow hunt. I'd have been like Matthews. You know, I know that's the brand. He was totally lost, and he just starts looking into space like damn, I know well, for one, he's knowing there's like, you know, 20 million people going to watch this. And I sat there and talk about how much I love bow hunting and can't even name the bow. But in his defense, when you got that kind of money, somebody probably just hands you a bow. Like, yeah, you know, you're 5'9", 140, whatever the hell Zuckerberg is. Like, here, it's all set up for you. Go ahead and have fun, buddy. You know, he's not the average person that's out there shopping for a bow.
No, so he's like, here's, you know, 10 grand, take me hunting. You
know, take me hunting, shoot. You know, I want to learn how to shoot a bow. Somebody gets him a bow. I mean, I get it, you know, in his defense, but I just thought it was funny how he just like, calm down, dude. You're trying to convince everybody you're like, you're one of the guys now, but slow down. You know, you gotta crawl before you walk, buddy. But no, so like I said, I still don't know how to take him. I know he said he's going to be a lot more lenient on Facebook, you know, and I think that's more he's starting to see he's losing, you know, customers basically to other platforms. So you got to fix that problem, you know, because I don't do Facebook much. It's just a bunch of women on there sharing pictures of their kids and people with these stupid inspirational memes that supposedly this celebrity said and all this dumb shit. I can't take much of it, you know. No. But I know they're trying to make the Facebook Reels or whatever. They you know, they're trying to get that going because everybody's dude. Look, TikTok came in and took the place by storm.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, they got everybody's attention like that because all you need is 3 seconds. Boom, you know. And I mean, YouTube saw it, you know. I mean, they started shorts, and you know, Facebook's doing it with the Reels, and you know, X ain't quite there yet. You know, it's not really a video platform like I wish it was. They don't really, people don't go to X thinking I'm gonna scroll videos for the most part, but like I said, I think a lot of them saw, they were like, damn, this TikTok did something. That's, that's crazy.
It did too. Everybody changed it up as soon as they saw TikTok.
Yeah, I stayed away from it for as long as I could, and then I was like, I guess I'll create an account for this. Again, BSing with the guys. We are on other platforms. If y'all are, get on there, hook it up, come follow us. But anyway, so I started it, and then all of a sudden it started taking off, and we were like, oh shit, I guess we need to do this this TikTok shit more, So,
yeah.
And it's fun. I have fun with it, dude. It's quick little videos, it's nothing that needs to be drawn out, and you got to make some long form shit that needs to be all edited and thought about. It just, look, got something on your mind, whether it be funny, serious, whatever, say it, post it, boom, it's done. And so I have fun with it. I stayed away because I didn't like the whole China thing. I was trying to be patriotic, It's like, I'm not giving China my information. And I'm thinking, shit, China and every other country around the world that wants it's got it. So, and then, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? They stealing it. They don't have nothing,
Nothing. Like, that's what I thought.
Not worried about our asses down here in southern Louisiana,
No, I'm like, whatever, take it.
Yep. Anyway. Well, anything else exciting before we get up off of here? Anything, guys? What y'all got? Anything else? Ask us anything. Well, not anything. Some of y'all get crazy. Let's see. Well, my internet is shit tonight. It's like it snows and all freaking everything goes to shit around here. Everything, dude. If not, he's part of them. Damn it, I was missing all these. You got to stay up on them comments, bro. I don't even see them. My internet's been crap tonight.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. It snows, and you would think, everything shuts down around here. The internet ain't working good. Crazy. Like I said, I don't know how they deal with this shit in other parts of the country, man. We're all going nuts over here.
I know. Be trapped in the house for 2 days.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. Well, shit. Guess we can get off of here. Mark, let's see. Mark's on here talking shit.
No, you, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you are, but what am I?
Oh, man, people like talking shit. I love it. Thank you for checking it out, Mark. Sorry we were boring, brother. And we're next time I'll wear my clown outfit and I'll do some juggling for you.
Hell yeah.
Might even do it topless if you're lucky. So stay tuned, buddy. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You know what they say on here?
Yeah. You gotta hit it so you got all our every time we go live.
Tell MrBeast we're coming for you. Coming for the #1 spot.
Oh yeah. We're gonna buy TikTok before he can.
That's another thing. I don't want to hate on Jimmy. Jimmy's done his thing, but I just don't get it, dude. I couldn't get through a video of his if I tried. I don't understand. I mean, I get it if you're a kid.
Yep.
But I mean, there's that many kids subscribe to this shit. Like,
dude.
I just don't. I mean, it's, he does some neat shit. He has some fun, and good for him. He does some good stuff with his money, but I just don't get. I'm like, God, what is the attraction like for him to be the biggest YouTuber? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, he does have that attention, dude. But I mean, I don't know. I would like to see his.
Have you watched a video of his, like a whole video?
Not purposely, but like
you see his stuff.
I see it on because my son will have it on. So
that's right, your son. That's what I mean. And it's like, man, and is he even catering to kids anymore? I mean, is it grown up shit now?
No, it's still, the challenges and shit like that, it'd be like whoever stays in this box the longest wins this car or whatever, he's been doing the Squid Games and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he's got it. He's got it down. Everything's loud and quick and colorful and so he's got his little science. I mean, good for him. I don't want to hate on him. I just never got it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, then I'm thinking, well, it ain't for me. I'm not a kid, but then I see adults that are like obsessed with MrBeast, I'm like, damn, it's crazy. So anyway, we're coming for you, MrBeast.
Oh yeah,
we're coming for you. We're only how many million subs away?
A few,
just a few.
A few, just a handful. We're gonna be like Jerry Springer with Oprah, dude.
Jerry, Jerry. I advise everybody to go watch that documentary. If you hadn't seen it, go watch the Jerry Springer on Netflix. Go watch that. Watch Tires. I thought it was funny. If you get your feelings hurt, though, don't go watch it because it does have comedy in it. What else have I watched lately that was good on there? I don't know. I watch a lot of the murder things, but it's all old shit like the Jean Bonnet and, you know, the Muslim twins, the Menendez boys and shit like that. But I'm actually on the hunt. What should we? Oh, I know y'all, people out there joining us. Give me something good I can Netflix, man. A good series, a good documentary, something, man. I need something to watch. I'm be sitting around tonight scrolling, looking for something. And tomorrow, I can't do shit tomorrow. We snowed in.
Nothing tomorrow.
I need some TV. So anyway, I need some suggestions, man. That's all I have. I think all I have is Netflix. I don't know. Probably got all them stupid ass things, and I just don't know. Like Hulu. I know they got Hulu, Netflix. What'd you say, to Amazon or something? Isn't that what you said you watch? Would you watch that pill documentary?
American Pain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, would you watch it on though?
I watched it on Amazon Prime, and it was on, you know how like you can get Hulu Live and then you can get like the HBO add-on,
Yeah.
So it was on one of those extra, but if you look on Amazon Prime, it'll tell you where it's playing at.
I got you.
But I watch it straight through them.
That's what I was saying. I may even be paying for that. I have no clue. I have all them stupid things, and I can't log into half of them. But anyway,
and then they got the Homicide Squad, New Orleans, full episodes on A&E.
They with the NOPD?
Yeah, it's from 2024 cases.
They allowed them in, to see how just fucking incompetent they are. It's like we solved 3% of all murders in the city.
I've watched 4 episodes so far this season, and they solved every one. So
that's the ones they're gonna show you, huh? It's like the smart people, the only gators they're gonna show you, the ones that act up, you know.
Yep.
But no, because I want to say they were on. I think they've been on the first 48 a couple times. The NOPD, you know, and then I mean, let's face it, they really. I don't know what their rate is as far as solving murders, but it can't be good.
I think it's in the 30s or 40s or something like that. You know, it's not very great. Like, you have a better chance at getting away.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I compare it to where we're at, but I mean, we may have 10 murders a year if on a crazy year, so it's a little easier to solve when you got 300 going on over there in New Orleans, on any given year. I know it's tough. And look, man, they're understaffed too. I know NOPD officers, I know them. They're understaffed. They're underpaid. A lot of them, it's their hands are tied in a lot of situations, so they don't even want to do their job. You know what I mean?
And the people are just different, over there versus here, where a lot of the murders happen over there. It's just kind of instilled in you. You don't talk to police.
Oh yeah.
So that doesn't help at all.
They don't trust them, and for one, it's a dangerous game talking to the police.
Oh yeah,
and I get it from their standpoint. I mean, let somebody see you talking to the cops. You know what I mean? So they got to live in those neighborhoods.
Yeah, and then they put it on TV when you do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't blame them. I never did blame any of that. Now, what I don't like is you don't have to be blatantly disrespectful. I get the, hey man, I didn't see nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's your life you're playing with now. I mean, not everybody wants to sit there and put their life on the line to tell on somebody that did something wrong. I get it. I totally respect that. But they have some that are just, fuck you. And then you see the little kids coming up, and they'll have an 8-year-old out there in the hood cussing out the cops. Yeah. And it's like, well, you're going to have a shit relationship now with them. You're training your child like that. Like it's right. You're never going to end that cycle. And look, they have their reasons. I get it. I wasn't raised in that environment, so I don't want to judge when it comes to that. I just wish there was a way for it to not be like that, for a way for them to come together, police, in these black communities, really, because that's where you see it happening. You know what I mean? But when it's just a never-ending cycle on both sides. The cops don't trust them. They don't ever trust the cops. I mean, and you can't blame them half the time. Yeah. But like I said, it's getting to where it's getting bad in them cities like that where the police don't even want to police, because it's dangerous. Right. I know one that he'll straight up tell me, I mean, he ain't gonna say it out loud, but that he don't pull over anybody unless it's like a little old lady or something that didn't turn her blinker on, but that's it. Because he's like, man, look, I just get through my shift. I am not trying to pull over a carload of young, any kind of youth in that city, because your life it's on the line over a traffic stop, and most people don't want to face that shit. You know what I mean? So he'll straight up say it, dude. I kind of patrol, and if I see a little lady or somebody that looks real harmless, kind of, might, be a tail light out, well, that's the ones I'll pull over just to say I'm doing something, you know what I mean? Because you have to turn something in, or your superior's like, what the fuck you doing all evening? You know what I mean? You haven't wrote a ticket in 7 months. It's like, what's going on? But that's just one example. So imagine how many other cops in cities like that are doing that, because they're just afraid to police when they're getting paid, $37,000 a year to go out there and maybe get shot at,
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm cool. I'm good. I'll just, pull over these little old ladies. So I get it, man. It's a battle that I don't know how you win, man. I just don't know how you do it.
I really don't either, because it's like, I can see it being hard because like, I feel like most people that want to become cops, you're trying to do it to make a positive impact on a community. But how do you keep that morale of wanting to do something positive for a community that doesn't like you?
Well, yeah, that's where you're right. It becomes that battle that they're constantly fighting.
Right.
You may go in there with good intentions, but then when you get nothing but disrespect and people that don't want you there, well, eventually, the give a shit has to go down a little bit. Now, that's not to say everybody joins the police force to be a hero. Some of them do because they want to throw their weight around because they were freaking nerds in school. But because I've met some asshole cops that I'm thinking, I see why your prick ass is a cop, because it's the only way you're going to sit here and tell me what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't have done that shit without that badge on. But anyway, that's a portion of them, but there are some that they do, man. They join, they think they're going to make some kind of change in the community, but then when you get there and the community don't want you around, well, what do you do? So then you just stop giving a shit, then you just go on about your business, like you said, making your hours,
which adds to the separation, because then it's like the community now sees that, well, the cops don't give a fuck, it's like, well, he doesn't give a shit. So, and it's like, it's just a cycle of,
goes around. They go in, and how do you stop that? You would almost have to skip a generation, you know what I mean, and start over from scratch. But how do you do? You can't just get rid of a generation to change things. So it's almost an impossible task, Not to say it can't change, but I just don't see any easy way to change that over just a few years. You know what I mean? It almost takes a generation of people, better cops being out there and people not hating the cops. You got to get past that point somehow, but you can't when it's just constantly doing this. It's just a never ending cycle. So I've thought about that a lot, because we're so close to a city like that. I mean, we're only 30 minutes away from New Orleans, and New Orleans has a crazy history when it comes to crime. I mean, it's got its better years, but it's got some bad ones. And it's like, I know people that are in the city. I've met people that are part of the crowd that these cops don't want to, be around, and they don't want to be around the cops. I mean, we've all met them, you know what I mean? And when you start hearing them talk, it's like, you don't hear any kind of, oh, I wish it was better. You know what I mean? You don't hear a lot of that. It's basically fuck them. You know what I mean? Fuck them. They, they're all dirty. And I don't know. I just don't see any, for the most part, I just don't see a lot of wanting to work together to change it. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. And it's like a legit, like, just lack of trust in them, because
of course
you see some of these first 48s and murder documentaries of New Orleans, and it'll be the mothers of a dead kid that will not talk to the police about what happened because they don't trust them. And that's not, any kind of underlying motive. That she does not trust this man if she will not tell him what she knows about her son's murder. You know what I mean? Like,
well, she may have seen, may have had some bad experiences with law enforcement.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why she doesn't is, whatever, but that's a legit, just, I don't trust them, so.
Yeah. Well, and, the biggest, I hear a lot of people mainly on the right, you get a lot of conservatives that think everybody should just respect and trust the police because and it's like, look, I'm pro law enforcement. I'm not going to sit on here and act like I'm some batshit crazy liberal that's like, oh, defund the police. But I do know enough cops to know that they're not all out there with good intentions. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're out there trying to commit, crazy acts, but I'm saying some of them, look, they
need authority.
Right. They want to push their authority around. And then you've got some, let's face it, I mean, whether it be a black cop, white cop, or whatever, some people are just assholes. Some people are racist. You know what I mean? Some people are prejudiced. So they treat certain people of different communities different. You know what I mean? It happens. They're people and they're human. You know what I mean? They're going to have a bad day. They you know what I mean? They some of them don't need to be cops. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to control their emotions. I've known some like that. You know what I mean? And so you see enough of that in your community. Well, then you start to where now it's almost it's almost in your DNA that we don't trust these motherfuckers. Got a terrible history with them. You know what I mean? Wasn't much good going on in New Orleans or any of these big cities back in the day. Before. You know what I'm saying? For the minority community. I mean, look, I've talked to them. I've talked to older police officers that will say shit like it was a joke on how they treated people. You know what I mean? And I just kind of blow it off or whatever. I mean, it's nothing can change now. They're retired, they're done. But you just hear the stories, and it was like it's funny the way they were able to treat people back then. There were no cameras. You know what I mean? So I get both sides of this argument. I do get both sides. Now, I do think there's a lot of cases where a respect will bring you a long way when you're pulled over. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be like, fuck you, I ain't did nothing. I mean, you don't always have to do that. You know what I mean? Calm the fuck down. Fight it in court. There's no point in dying over that shit because you think you got pulled over wrong. And that's what happens. It escalates to a point it doesn't need to get at. Now we've got somebody that was shot. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't need to get there. But anyway, we love the police. We love the criminals. We love everybody.
Everybody.
So I'm not sitting there trying to take one side or the other. I'm just saying I've heard arguments on both sides, man. I've known some people that were on the wrong side of the law, and I've known some law enforcement. I know some great ones. I know some that I sit back and think, what the hell are you doing being a cop? But hey, to each their own. Like I said, none of us are perfect. So, I wasn't trying to go on this big rant, any kind of anti-police thing or whatever. I'm just saying I get the argument, and I haven't been in the shoes of a minority that's may have dealt with shit that I've never had to deal with. And I've run into some asshole cops as just a average everyday white guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I can imagine, I mean, they probably got some stories that I'd be like, God damn, really? That, they did that, but at the same time, some people do get pulled over and act like freaking idiots and they need to be dealt with, I never understood that. Just to as soon as you get pulled over, just that attitude, that animosity, it's like, calm down, dude. Like, nobody likes being pulled over, but chill out, Like,
yeah. And then you kind of repeat the cycle if because as a kid, you kind of look at your parents like they're right. You know what I mean? So if you're in a household where your parents are doing crazy shit, and then at the same time, they dislike the police completely. So that's what you hear. And then you see the police coming to take your parents away. It's like every time dad's gone, it's because the police came, so then it's like you grow up like, fuck these people, so.
No, I get it, man. You never know what shaped somebody's mentality. You're right. I mean, when you see that shit from a young age, it does something to you, and it's just a cycle that's hard to break, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have the answer. Apparently no one does, because it ain't, nobody's breaking the cycle. So, I mean, it's up to the parents, really. Like you said, it starts at home to say, hey, respect the police. But there's a lot of parents, they don't feel that way. And rightfully so. They're like, man, every time I'm around them, they harassing me or this, that, and the other. I mean, it's like, why am I supposed to tell my child everything's okay now? So now, like I said, it's not always, it's not always that the cop's in the wrong by any means, but I'm sure it happens. Everybody's, there's assholes in every profession. So anywho, anything else interesting to talk about or anything to bitch about?
I don't think so.
No. Well, let's wrap it up. Yep. We appreciate all y'all checking us out. We are, like I said, we're on TikTok, on X. We're pretty much on everything. The only thing we're active on really is here, TikTok. We do have a merch shop. If If you want to show the world you're full of BS like us, you can go. We got shirts, hats, koozies. I mean, all kind of crazy shit. And it's right there on our profile. You'll see our store. We appreciate y'all watching. And we are going to bundle up over here in Southern Louisiana because there is still snow on the ground and I am over it. Y'all have a